I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I gotta
All right, what's up, everyone? My name is Tanner. Welcome back. Got my boy Adam on tonight. Adam's been absolutely crushing it. Favorite thing about these calls is just to have people that are killing it in
doing
this
it in
business and
this
spread their
spread
knowledge
their knowledge
because the
whatsoever.
only way to succeed in this business is
Always
by
reach out
getting
to me if
knowledge
you
from
just
people that are succeeding at a very high level. But
find it.
Adam, good to
Or
have you on tonight. Why don't you just
it's
introduce yourself to everyone that you don't know, that doesn't know you?
Yeah, so my name is Adham Shalash, aka Adam Smith, right? I've been in the industry for around, I think, 5 months, right? I started with FFL. The way I got into it was, you guys probably know Mo Masri. He got me into this. I saw an Instagram clip of him with Mahmoud saying he made $35,000 in 1 month, right? And I thought that was insane. And personally, I was in college for engineering. I tried multiple businesses of my own, but nothing that made me $35,000. You know what I mean? And I was actually coming back from overseas, wrestling for Palestine's national team, and I just dislocated my elbow. So I was around the house doing PT and couldn't do nothing, right? Couldn't work at my dad's shop or anything. So I finally decided to, take the leap of faith and join the industry, right? Um, Initially, then really it's been up from there for real.
Hell yeah, bro. Well, dude, it's awesome to see like how much you've grown from when you first started to like where you're at now. What have been your results like within the last 2 months? I know you've been killing it.
Yeah, so January was my biggest month, of course. I hit $44,000 issue paid. And we all know February still hasn't finished, but on week three, I'm at 36,000 something.
Definitely gonna crack that 40K. So you're at 44 in January, and then you're gonna crack 40 in February. That's awesome, bro. Back to back 40. And I know everyone on this call wants to do the same thing, but I know when you first started, that's not what it looked like, right? So why
No.
don't you kind of tell us like your intro to the business, like your first 3 months? What did that kind of look like for you?
Yeah, so I came in the industry. I wasn't like, a lot of these guys who succeeded right away. I kind of had a slower pace where, like, my second month in the industry, I think that's when I cracked like 10,000, and I was consistent then, right? I even went down to Austin. I lived with Tanner, Drew, and all these guys, and like I was still consistently writing 10,000, right? But suddenly, December comes. I think the first 2 weeks of December, barely any sales, and then the last two weeks is when it for real clicked for me. When I said like something has to change. Um,
100%. Yeah, bro. So I mean, like first month you sold a couple, second month you did 10, and then you just continue to develop and get better and better over time. What do you feel like, you struggled with at the beginning? Because there's a ton of people on this call that, are fresh to the business and they're seeing people like you, selling 40K a month, but they don't understand that things do take time sometimes. What do you think are a couple of those things that you struggled with when you first got into the business?
yeah, so there was a lot of things I struggled with, right? Like I can go on and on and on and things that I struggled with during the script, right? But the script, their trainings are there, and you'll get over that, right? Over time and over dials, you know. But if I had to say what I struggled with, what slowed down my growth, was I knew what I had to do, but it was implementing it, right? A lot of us know what we have to do to get there, but we're not willing to implement it. Now, I gotta thank Tanner, right? Because I would see this guy work from morning to night. Literally, I swear to God, maybe 14-hour days. Like it was insane, right? I'd be like, this kid's crazy. I swear. So initially it was really just, what you gotta do is implementing it that really struggled to me, whether it was the hours, the dials, the sales, whatever it was, it was just implementing it. I knew what I had to do, but implementing it. And for me to implement it, what I struggled with was doing that sacrifice, sacrificing that time, sacrificing, chilling in the hot tub if you're in Austin, sacrificing going out with the guys, sacrifice playing soccer for fun, right? And at the end of the day, like, there's gonna be a time where you're like, okay, the soccer, the wrestling, the hot tub, all these are nice, right? But I don't know about you guys, but making 2,000, $3,000 a day is it's kind of nicer for me. I'm not gonna lie, you know. So I would
Yeah,
say that that's what slowed down my growth.
yeah. I mean, this business is sacrifices. Like whoever makes more sacrifices is gonna make more money. Like it's very simple. But I like how you touch on implementation. That's something that, I tell everyone because we all run the exact same system. Everyone hears the exact same advice. The only difference between the people that are succeeding at a very high level is that they just decide to implement it. That's the only difference. All I've ever done since I've been in this business is get advice from people succeeding at a very high level and they're just doing exactly what they tell you. So if you want to succeed at a high level, Adam told you, like, dude, all you have to do is just drop your ego, be coachable, and just implement. Successful people that they implement everything immediately. But I mean, obviously, it's tough to make sacrifices, and it seems like one of the main things to you succeeding, like in making that switch, was making that sacrifice. Like, what made you like decide to, hey, like I'm gonna start sacrificing, actually, like make this shit work?
Yeah, so I've been an athlete for majority of my life, right? And I always started the season. I'll never forget my senior season, right? So I don't mean to bore you guys, but like my senior season, I started off as an unranked wrestler in the state of Ohio, right? And I was a nobody. And I kind of got mad because I did good my season before. But anyways, right? It was something like I had something to prove to myself that I could be on that level, right? So yeah, I would see Tanner and I would see Drew and I would see Mo Sad and I would see all these guys succeed. And I felt like I was just back in high school wrestling where I'm unranked and these guys, you know what I mean, above me. I said, well, these guys, like, no offense, like, not to take anything away from them, but they're not better than me, right? So why do I want to be average? Why am I so satisfied at a $10,000 issue paid month? Why? Like, why are these guys doing 40K and they're still hungry? They're mad they didn't hit 50. Why am I satisfied at 10,000? Like, do I really want to be average? Do I want to be mediocre or do I want to be excellent? Like, it's that at the end of the day. Do you want to be average or do you want to be mediocre? You know? And personally, I don't want to be average. I don't ever want to be that average guy.
Dude, I fucking love that, bro. You're either average or you're savage, bro. That's it. And like tons of people have results, tons of people aren't. But like the people that have the results, they just decide that, hey, like I'm not gonna be average, and they treat this like a business. Because as we all know, we hear it every day. Like, dude, if you just treat this like a business, like you're gonna literally get paid more than doctors. Like you're actually running a real business. And dude, I remember like when we lived with each other, your mindset wasn't fully like locked in on the business. You were kind of goofing off here and there. And I know it's changed a ton over time. How has your mindset changed from like when you first started the business to like where you are today about everything?
Yeah, well, at first my mindset, you start this industry and a lot of people will tell you like, activity, and then they'll give you the example, 300 dials, you know what I mean? Get 8 presentations and 1, 2 sales a day. Personally, like that would always go in my mind, right? It's like put $300, you know what I mean? Put $300. I would put $300 in, right? But I wouldn't get the 8 presentations and I wouldn't get the 1, 2 sales a day. But what would I do? I would quit. I would stop. Be like, okay, I put my work in. So I wasn't training like a business. I was training like a 9 to 5. I was here to do this, And if I didn't accomplish it, or if I did, I was done. You know what I mean? So what I did, and this comes back to sacrifice, right? When you have something on the line, or when you're sacrificing something, you're destined to work harder, right? So I sacrificed more, right? And for the Kentucky guys, they know what I'm talking about. Like I would sleep at the office 5 days a week. I'd come home on Saturday, see my mom's on Sunday, right? But I would sleep there and I would not leave the office. Actually, I wouldn't leave at all, right? But I would work. I'd had to wake up at 8 and I had to dial until I get 1 to 2 a day, right? And if I got one by 10 o'clock, okay, we're shooting for two, right? If I got two by 2 o'clock, okay, we're shooting for three. And I would most of the times end with the day with 2 to 5 policies a day if I would do that. That's me working 10, 11 hours. Actually, I closed one at 2 a.m. in the morning because I wouldn't stop working, you know? So,
Dude, I love that, bro, because I see too many people be like, oh, everyone says like just hit $300. Well, hey, like if you're not really good at closing, or if you're brand new to the business, or maybe you just dialed people that weren't interested for those $300, you're not going to make any money. I see way too many people, hey, $300, that's all you need. No, dude, why don't you just work 12 hours a day and then you'll sell probably two to three?
Yeah.
Like shifting the way that you think about that is everything, because like $300, cool. Like I think that's the bare minimum that you need to do. But more so, like if you just work the hours and like you actually work the hours, that's when you're gonna make money. So do you think your business really like changed when you just started, taking out the, hey, I have to hit this a day and then I'm done, to I'm just gonna work the hours and then make money?
So I like to compare my business to my baby, right? Why do I like to do that? Because when your baby's crying, like I don't got kids, right? But I know like when your baby's crying at night, right? You don't go stay in his sleep, you know what I mean? You go take care of your baby. And if it's crying in the morning, whether you're eating or whether you're working, whether you're you take care of your baby, right? So if I can treat my business where, you know, because I'm gonna be honest, if you guys are only putting $300 in, your business is crying. It is crying. I don't care if you're issue paying 10,000, right? If you're issue paying 40,000, you're only putting $300, it's still crying because you could easily hit 50, 60, 70,000, right? Because there's guys that are gifted in this. I'm not gonna lie. Like shout out to Marvin. Marvin, bro, he's a closer, bro. But if you put in more dials, you can easily double to triple what you're issue paying now, right? So yeah, I have to say, but when I put the activity in, it's what everybody says. It's common sense, to be honest, right? I wouldn't even really say it's common sense. We hear all the time, lead flow plus workflow equals cash flow, right?
Yeah, dude, and something that I've been thinking about over the last couple of days, I've been telling, some of my guys, I put a video out last night too, is like, what if you just focused on making the most amount of money every single day? Like, for example, like, hey, you sold one last week, you sold one last month, like you see what's coming in on Wednesday from Corbridge, you get a statement from Americo, you're super stoked. You're like, money's about to hit. You're gonna slow down if you look at everything like that. Why
Yeah.
don't you just focus on like, hey, today's Thursday. I'm gonna make the most amount of money possible today. I don't give a shit what I did yesterday. I don't care what I did before. I don't even care if 10 G's hit my account today. I'm going to make the most amount of money today. And then tomorrow is a new day and I'm going to do the same thing. You do that for 3, 4, 6 months. I guarantee you're going to get paid every single day. Every single day. Focus on making the most amount of money possible every single day. I see too many people like getting too excited about money coming in, dude. They're slowing down their business. Like if you want to take one thing away, make the most amount of money possible every single day. That's where your life will literally change. But that's something I wanted to say because I've been thinking about that a ton.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, I agree.
Yeah, dude, it's massive. But to kind of bridge on to like consistency about this business, I think that's one of the main things. And dude, this business is hard. Like there's gonna be days where you want to quit, weeks where you don't sell anything, and dude, you get really frustrated. And I know you've gone through a ton of those, and I've gone through a ton of those as well. And dude, sometimes it was hard, bro. And I always like to hear like how people get through those days. So when you have that tough day or you have that tough week, like what what do you do to make sure that your mind's on straight and you're not getting frustrated and end up like dipping or something like that?
Yeah, man. So that's actually a good question, man. So the way I look at it is anything in life, you're gonna have ups and downs, right? Now, I remember this one scenario, right, where I just got my biggest deposit. I think it was around 7 bands, something like this, right, from Corbridge or whatever. At the moment, that was my biggest deposit. And I remember like the next week seeing like 5,000 fell off, right? And it wasn't because it was so many policies. It was like three big policies, right, that fell off. But, and I was like, damn. But at the end of the day, like I saw that. I didn't even look at it. Like I just continued my schedule how it was, right? Working from this time to this time, exactly what Tanner just said, trying to make as much money as you can. So I never like me personally, like Adam, I never like to look at the money ever, right? I like to look at the policies. Okay. So I would start the week not trying to sell 15 grand, not trying to sell 20 grand, but trying to sell 15 policies, right? Whether it's baby policies, small policies, 15 policies. You know what I mean? That was my goal. And if you can hit 15 policies, at least for me, if I can hit that goal, right, and consistently work my schedule, no matter what downhill I hit, I'm always gonna go up, you know? At least that's the way I look at it, right? As long as you're consistent, because don't get me wrong, like if I went ahead and got $5,000 charge back, right, and I went ahead and fucked off the next week, now I'm in debt. But if I go write another 15 policies next week, now I'm up on it. I'm not in debt no more, you know? So really it's just consistent to your schedule that works for you. And the goals, I believe, having a goal is extreme as well, a big thing as well. You know?
Mhm. Yeah, dude. I mean, you're either growing or you're dying. Like if you sell 10 in a week, a couple are gonna fall off, and if you don't work hard the next week, like dude, you're losing money. You have to consistently work each day, every single week, and that's when you're gonna see those long-term results. But like, dude, this business is simple. Have high activity and be consistent every single week. Like you're not gonna get results overnight, but you'll get them over time. And that's where the real money's made, is when you have high activity every single day and you're consistent week in, week out. That's what, like, you heard it from Adam. He went from, 5 to 10, then to 20, 20, and then up to 40 because he didn't quit and he had high activity every single week. But what does your schedule look like nowadays? Like, what's your schedule? And like, because I mean, dude, schedule is super important. So it kind of
Yeah.
touches what your schedule looks like.
Yeah, so my schedule now is changing a little bit now that I'm back in Cincinnati and with Ramadan and everything. Uh, but I'll touch back in my schedule like before Ramadan because that's when it was more consistent. Initially Monday through Saturday, I'm at the office. Monday through Friday, I'm sleeping in the office, right?
Hell yeah.
Uh, yeah, I would sleep at the office. Monday, I'm waking up I'll try to wake up at 8 or before if I can because I like to get some back end work out of the way. And then I have to hit the phones at 9. That's when I'm hitting the phones, right? And then, like I said, like I would dial until a bare minimum until 8, 9 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock. But if I didn't get the amount of pauses that I put for myself, I would surpass that, right? So it's not like I had a set schedule. Like I said, it's like I had a set goal and I had to hit it. And if I didn't hit it, I didn't stop working. So that's my schedule. Now it's changed a little bit, but
Mhm. I love
I
it.
get
You just get to work, bro. And I mean, you keep saying like at this set number, 15 policies, like you have that standard. Like I'm gonna get 15 policies a week no matter what. A lot of people that are struggling in this business, they don't set a standard for themselves. Like a
yeah,
lot of us say 10K or dying. Some people just say it because they think it's a cool phrase and
yeah,
want to be a part of what everyone says. Other people live by that shit. Like I'm gonna hit 10K or dude, I'm dead. Like I'm gone. So how do you set that standard for yourself? And when it's Friday and let's say you're only at 9, like is it tough for you to kind of go through that, or do you just have that set standard and you're going to do everything it takes to get there?
yeah. So we can both agree, right? Like when I was in Austin, I did not have that standard, right? I
All
had a
right.
really low standard, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I wasn't performing as a one. Now, first of all, setting a standard for yourself for sales, I feel like it's not just setting yourself a number, right? It's you have to change something inside of you as well, right? And I don't know how to exactly explain it, right? But the way it's been explained to me, sometimes I can come off as a bully or like that, right? And the reason is because when I'm holding myself to a certain standard, I'm holding that standard in my environment as well, right? Because you're gonna perform as the environment around you, right? And I think that's something the Philly office playbook in general has done, actually Blueprint in general that has done, is that we surround ourselves with top producers, and that's what allows us to grow as top producers, right? Okay, 1 second. Okay. So when it comes to standard, I like to have goals. I'm a really goal person, right? So I like to get one goal that like I know I'm gonna hit for sure, and then one girl that kind of passes the limit. Like if I hit it, awesome. If I don't hit it, like damn, but like still like that's the goal. You know what I mean? So every week, every day, I start with a goal, right? And then that standard really it starts off with changing your environment, changing what you do day to day basis, and what you think about yourself, right? What you think about yourself inside of you, right? I'm not gonna let no one hold me down at all. Okay. And if you want to come here and distract me, get the fuck out. You can ask the Kentucky guys how many people I've kicked out of the office, you know? And that's it. Because I held not just myself to that standard, but the environment to that standard. No one's gonna mess with me.
But when you're locked in, don't let anybody take that away or distract you, bro. That's big. But I mean, going from, selling 20K a month to 40K a month, like obviously you know what to close, you know what to sell. And it personally, in my opinion, I think everyone can issue 20K a month if they just work. I think we can all agree on that. But to get to 40, dude, you have to know how to communicate. You need to know how to assume sales, and you need to be better at like actually closing. Well, what's your biggest like sales tip, or what did you really do to go from 20 all the way to 40?
Yeah. So this one, first of all, Mahmoud can agree with me, Ronnie can agree with me, Mustard can agree with me. The biggest thing I feel like that I used to my advantage was I wouldn't shut my mouth, right? So closed mouths don't get fed. I would blow up people's phones. I would ask so many questions. I tried not to be stupid questions, right? But like questions I didn't know. Why? Because I'm a true believer, bro. Like it's not the destination that matters, but it's the journey you get there, right? And those questions that I ask, right, upon my journey is what I'm going to be able to help my downlines and the people, that call me, for instance, right? So when I blow up Mahmoud, bro, I swear, it's actually kind of funny because till today I do it for real, right? But I would ask so many questions, and then when I started implementing, because back into implementation, right? There's no point asking a question if you're not going to implement the answer, right? And that's what I used to do, right? I used to ask Mahmoud multiple questions, and I used to, damn, Allah, that. I used to ask multiple questions, right, and not implement it, and I wouldn't see growth. But when I started implementing those answers that Mahmoud would give me, Musi would give me, Ronnie would give me, right, that's when my business grew. So if I can preach one thing, closed mouths don't get fed, and don't be scared to ask a question, right? Example before I stop, there's an agent, right, today. I've never met her, right, at all, like whatsoever, not my team, not the same state, right? She called me asking me a question, right? I swear, I was actually like, I was impressed, right? Like, damn, like I'm happy she was able to call me, right? And she implemented exactly what I told her, and she went and got his and hers. So that's the perfect example of asking a good question, implementing, and seeing with the results. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's a big one, I'd say.
dude, that's massive. Closed mouths don't get fed. And dude, I love how Nasser always says that because, dude, I couldn't relate more to that because I mean, dude, the only way to get to the level that you want to get to is to find people that are at that level, but ask all the questions that's needed to get there because you're not just going to blindly get there. Like, why would you not ask questions and just figure it out yourself when the people have already done it? Just ask them what they did and then just do it. That's all I do. And
Yeah.
that's good. That's what I've been able to do to grow my business. And you've obviously asked tons of questions to tons of people. Is there like a specific thing that maybe like Nasser, Musri, like someone told you that really like stands out that you want to tell everyone else to help sell at a higher level?
So there's a lot of things, right? But something that now this isn't exactly going to answer your exact question, right? But if I had to say something that was shown to me instead, right? So it wasn't said to me, it was shown to me, right? And that's Mahmoud, leading from the front, right? When I first, now, of course, like he's backed off a little bit, but when I first started, right, and I'll go to the Kentucky office, Mahmoud would be dialing more than anybody in that office. Now, Mahmoud probably, like, mashallah, right? Like, no has to do anything, but he probably gets paid more than any of us, okay? And he's still dialing all these hours leading from the front. So I had to look back, right? So there was a time, December, like I told you, December, where I had to look back. I had to take a step back, okay? And I had to be like, what am I doing for me not to be able to perform this, right? And I finally looked at Mahmoud and I was like, this is what he's doing. Yeah, where is it? Okay, I don't know. And so what was I gonna say? So yeah, so I
Yo,
looked
real
back.
quick, whoever's host kick, I need life insurance out. Like that's very unprofessional and very disrespectful to our group. It just
Chris,
got me real mad dropping the hard R. So just please kick them. And whoever that is, like please grow up. Sorry for interrupting.
bro, if I was Chris's host, I would wish I could kick.
It's okay, I'm black is absolutely fucking crazy.
All right.
We're gonna find out who they are. Don't even worry about it. My boy Braden's on his FBI search. They're gonna be permanently banned from the insurance space.
I'm out.
They don't need to be helping no families.
والله أحلى بابا. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so I took a step back, I thought about it, and I thought about, listen, this activity that Mahmoud's putting in, it's not normal, and this is what I gotta do. I forgot the question to be honest, bro. But anyways, yeah. So going back and taking that advice, whatever.
No, yeah.
So
So you
going
were talking about how
about
when you first started in the business, Nasser was leading from the front, selling at a high level, but he probably makes more than all of us. And you were kind
yeah,
of on that.
yeah. So I thought that was kind of crazy. And then I kind of had to think about like, okay, if Mahmoud's doing this, and not just Mahmoud, Ronnie was doing it, right? And all these guys who success are doing it, why am I not doing it? Like, and I know that sounds so like common sense, right? But too many of us are not doing it,
Yep.
right? So for real, like whoever's like not hitting 40K, take a step back, right? Think about those questions that you ask, think about those answers. Are you implementing? Are you putting the activity? Because I know it's not just me who's saying this, right? I know every single day we hear these, lead plus workflow, and I bet you guys are spending 1,200 on leads. I was spending 1,200 on leads, right? Just wasn't working. I saw some cash flow, but not the cash flow I wanted to see, right? So just take a step back, think about what you guys are doing now, and how you can change that to grow and be a better salesman.
That's super important because, dude, I relate a ton to that. When I first started, I was like, all right, who makes the most money? Ronnie and Nasser. Cool. How are they always on Zoom like the latest and everyone's dipping before? I was like, okay, like when I noticed that, I was like, okay, let me take a step back. I'm gonna stay on Zoom the latest. If they're already making, six figures a month and I make no money, I would be an absolute idiot if I let them outwork me. I would be an idiot. If you want to get results that the top people have, dude, you just have to outwork them. So when I noticed that, I was like, perfect. Like whenever they leave Zoom, I'm gonna make sure that I'm still working. Because if I'm not working, like, dude, I just don't want to be where they are. And
Yeah.
that comes back to like cutting sacrifices. So I love that. But just to kind of wrap everything up, if you could leave everyone with one piece of advice, to people who are struggling, been in the business for a little bit, just can't really find their ground and their path, what would that be?
Yeah, if I had one advice for someone who's struggling, dude, life is hard, man. Life is meant to knock you down. That's why we're like literally life is just a test. Anything in life is going to be a test. So what I'm trying to say is if you
Just
start
gotta get
off,
back up when it knocks you down, knocks you down. They say,
Fucking idiot.
so anyways, so there's going to be times where you're going to write 40K a month, and then there's going to be times where you got, $10,000 worth of charge, whatever, something hits hard, right? Adversity is the best thing in the world, man. It is. It's just how you use adversity is what's going to determine the factor of how you're going to do, right? If you can use it as a push to help you succeed, good, bro. But for real, something that's helped me, I think, is not caring what people think of me and what I'm doing, right? If you think I'm insane, go for it. You think I'm stupid, go for it. I don't care, right? You think I'm wasting my time, go for it. I really, I don't want to, I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm doing me and I'm doing everything I can because I have a why, right? And I'm doing everything I can to achieve that why.
Oh yeah, bro. Dude, this call was heat, bro. Drop some ones in the chat for Adam. Dude, it's awesome to see like how much you've grown over the last few months, bro. Like truly, dude, you're killing it, bro. Keep your foot on the gas, bro. You're obviously gonna hit Hall of Fame. How much you gonna sell this year, bro?
So I'm gonna go for 450, 500,000, hopefully.
Hell yeah, bro. You're gonna get there. Well, we'll kind of open it up to some questions. We'll take like two or three. But if anyone has questions, drop them in the chat, unmute.